reporting, and our sources at Court TV have confirmed that defendant Lindsay Shiver's bail has now been revoked. Shiver is charged with conspiring to kill her husband Robert in the Bahamas, where the couple owned a home, and she's accused of doing this with her alleged lover and another man. Now, Shiver, who is from Georgia, she's been out on bail and living with her parents in Alabama. However, data from her ankle bracelet shows that she had changed her address without getting prior court approval in violation of her bail conditions. Shiver's co-defendant, Terrance Bethel, also has had his bond revoked for bail violations. We'll continue to monitor this developing story and bring you updates throughout the day right here on Court TV.
Paradise has a way of hiding secrets. In the glow of turquoise waters and swaying palms, darkness festered. Here, on the powder-white sands of Guana Cay, a burglary unearthed more than stolen goods. It exposed a plot so cold, so calculated, it would make the islands themselves shiver. This wasn't just a marriage gone wrong. This was a wife, a pageant queen turned puppet master, allegedly pulling strings from paradise. Her target? The father of her children. Her weapon. Not a dagger or a gun, but a lover's whispers and a hitman's greed. Lindsay Shiver, crowned by pageants, now accused by prosecutors. A woman who traded tiaras for ankle monitors, beachside cocktails for courtroom battles. But how did a fairy tale life fracture into a true crime headline? Was it betrayal or desperation? This is no soap opera. This is the Bahamas' most scandalous chapter, where love letters became evidence and paradise became a prison. Robert Shiver wasn't just a name on a police report. To Auburn fans, he was a gridiron gladiator, a linebacker who left bruises on the field and legions in the stands. To his 3 children, he was Daddy, the man who built blanket forts and chased monsters under the bed. But behind the highlight reels and bedtime stories, Robert's world was fracturing, and the cracks began in the one place meant to be his sanctuary. Home. From the outside, the Shivers had it all. A southern mansion steeped in magnolia charm, a Caribbean escape where the water sparkled a little bluer. But luxury can't plaster over lies. By 2023, their marriage had become a battleground, a war fought not with fists, but with lawyers, allegations, and secrets buried deeper than Bahamian shipwrecks. Then came April 2023. The divorce filing read like a thriller. Robert accused Lindsay of affairs and reckless spending. She fired back, alleging control, rage, a man who ruled with his wallet. The truth? It's murkier than Bahamian mangrove waters. But one fact is clear. Their fairy tale had curdled into a true crime prequel. 2 sides. 2 stories. One marriage imploding under the weight of he said, she said. But in this saga, there would be no amicable split. No quiet custody agreement. Because while Robert fought for his children, Lindsay, prosecutors claim, was plotting something far darker. A father. A husband. A man who traded touchdowns for boardrooms, only to find himself the star of a nightmare he never saw coming. Because in the Bahamas, where the Shivers once toasted to forever, forever was about to take a deadly turn. Lindsay Shiver wasn't born a villain. Once she was a queen, crowned Miss Houston County, her smile beaming under stadium lights. A cheerleader turned wife, turned mother of 3, her life a curated album of southern charm. But behind the sequins and soccer mom veneer, cracks formed. Financial ruin loomed. Debt piled like unopened bills on a mahogany desk. And in the shadow of her husband's NFL legacy, Lindsay felt invisible, a fading star grasping for control. Friends say she whispered about escaping the cage, but no one imagined how far she'd go. Terrance Bethel, 30 years old. A Bahamian laborer with calloused hands and a disarming grin. No criminal record, just a man who mixed cocktails at a beachside bar, where Lindsay sought refuge from her crumbling marriage. Their affair began as escapism, stolen moments under palm fronds, laughter drowned by ocean waves. But whispers turned to promises. Bethel would later claim it was all venting, a tempest of anger, not malice. Yet prosecutors alleged their bond curdled into something darker. A pact sealed not with kisses, but with a photo. A photo of Robert Shiver. A photo tagged "Kill him." And then there's Farah Newbold, 29. a landscaper turned alleged hitman. No stranger to Bethel, childhood friends on Abaco's sleepy shores. Was he the muscle lured by cash? Or a pawn in a lover's game? The evidence: WhatsApp threads discussing payment and plans. A message with Robert's photo, those two damning words, "Kill him?" Newbold insists it's all a misunderstanding. Wait until the truth comes out, he warns, shadows deepening under his doorway. But truth in this case is as murky as Bahamian mangrove waters. 3 lives tangled in a plot ripped from Pulp Fiction. The beauty queen, the bartender, the landscaper. One seeking escape, another craving love, the third, perhaps just a paycheck. But here's the twist. Their undoing came not from a detective's brilliance but a burglary. A random break-in at a bar called Grabbers. A seized phone. Messages laid bare. Paradise, it seems, keeps receipts. Yet even in custody, Lindsay defied. Ankle monitors became accessories. Bail conditions mere suggestions. She traded prison jumpsuits for sundresses, granting interviews that spat in the face of Bahamian justice. A spit in the face, the judge declared. But was it arrogance? Or desperation? A mother clawing for her children, now pawns in a custody war? Robert, the ex-NFL star, demands their $2.5 million mansion. Lindsay, bankrupt and besieged, fights with the only currency she has left: scandal. In the end, this isn't just a story of murder plots or illicit affairs. It's about what happens when privilege collides with desperation. When a woman who once ruled pageant stages finds herself shackled by debt, by expectation, by the weight of a crown turned to lead. And the men who followed her, were they partners in crime? Or casualties of a queen's unraveling? It began with a burglary. Not a grand heist, but a petty crime at a sleepy island bar. A broken lock. A missing cash register. Routine until police seized the suspect's phone and stumbled into a labyrinth of secrets. Little did they know, this small-time thief held the key to a plot that would rock 2 nations. Paradise has a way of preserving evidence. Deleted messages, buried under emojis and vacation plans, screamed the unthinkable. Here, in the golden glow of the Bahamas, Lindsay Shiver's digital trail unraveled. A mother of 3 once praised for her perfect marriage posts, now accused of scripting her husband's murder. All because a burglar forgot to clear his chat history. The Shivers' marriage had already imploded. Just days before, Lindsay had called 911, accusing Robert of blocking her from their private jet, a jet she desperately wanted to board for a family trip to the Bahamas. A trip prosecutors say was a cover to meet Bethel and finalize the plot. "He's been physical before," she told police, her voice trembling. But Robert fired back. "This isn't about safety. It's about control." 5 days after the "kill him" text, Paradise turned prison. Lindsay, caught mid-sprint on a sugar-white beach, sand spraying behind her Louboutins. Bethel, dragged from a fishing boat, his hands still reeking of bait. Newbold, cornered in a mangrove thicket, machete glinting uselessly at his side. 3 lives, bound by a digital noose, hauled into the harsh glare of justice. The evidence was surgical. WhatsApp timestamps placed all 3 on Abaco Island the night of July 16th. GPS data traced Lindsay's phone from her Georgia mansion to Bethel's ramshackle cottage. And in a cruel twist of fate, the hitman Newbold had texted Lindsay about payment just hours before the burglary, a demand for $30,000 later scrubbed, but not forgotten. As cuffs snapped shut, Robert Shiver, once a linebacker built to withstand 300-pound tackles, collapsed into a new role, the man who outran death. "They showed me the photo," he'd later whisper in court. "My own smile, used as a kill order." Meanwhile, Lindsay's Instagram feed, once bursting with #FamilyFirst hashtags, fell silent. The Shiver trio now faced a new trio: judge, jury, and a world watching in horror. And so not with a gunshot but a text message. Not in shadowy backrooms but under the Caribbean sun. A burglary of bottles and petty cash had exposed a far grander theft. The theft of trust, of vows, of a future once immortalized. Freedom, for Lindsay Shiver, came with strings attached. A $100,000 golden ticket. paid not with her beauty queen savings, but her family's desperation. Ankle monitor clamped like a diamond bracelet. Curfew, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. And one non-negotiable rule: stay in the Bahamas, far from her estranged husband's Georgia doorstep. But Lindsay never played by the rules, and Paradise's patience wore thin. While Lindsay's freedom cost six figures, her alleged lover Bethel walked free for a fraction. $20,000. Newbold, the landscaper turned hitman? A mere $10,000. A hierarchy of guilt, priced like tropical real estate. But money couldn't buy silence. And silence was the one currency the court demanded. October 2023. Lindsay Shiver, the woman who once waved from pageant floats, now waved away a gag order. On Good Morning America, she traded courtroom decorum for primetime redemption. No script. No remorse. Just Bethel's defiant grin and Lindsay's calculated silence. Innocent, they declared to millions. But in Nassau, Justice Grant Thompson's gavel fell like a guillotine. Blatant disregard, the judge seethed. A spit in the face of justice. Lindsay's TV tour wasn't just arrogance, it was a grenade tossed into the jury pool. If the prosecution did this, the judge warned, you'd riot. But Lindsay? She claimed innocence, and booked her ticket back to Fox Hill Prison. Even shackled, Lindsay couldn't escape drama. Hert's safe house in Alabama became a crime scene. A new boyfriend. A pillow pressed to her face. The judge, exasperated, revoked her bail for her own safety. Irony? Lindsay's life now mirrored her husband's alleged fate, both gasping for air in a plot she supposedly authored. 2025. The revolving door spins once more. $100,000 later, Lindsay walks free, but Georgia remains forbidden. No sweet tea on the porch of her $2.5 million mansion. No reunions with children still caught in the crossfire. Just a gag order tighter than her pageant sash. Comply, the judge warns. But Lindsay's track record whispers. For how long? A mother? A monster? Or a mirror held to justice itself, where money talks, cameras convict, and freedom is just another performance? While Lindsay Shiver navigated the revolving door of Bahamian jails, Robert Shiver rebuilt his life, not on football fields or boardrooms, but in the glare of reality TV spotlights. Savannah Chrisley, 27, glamorous and unapologetically public. Their romance, born from a DM, "I'll be praying for you," blossomed into a tabloid saga. Savannah, herself a survivor of family scandal, saw Robert as a normal person in her chaotic world. But normal is relative when your boyfriend's ex-wife is accused of plotting your murder. Savannah's timeline is ticking. Robert, nearing 40, races against middle age to father her children. IVF looms, endometriosis threatens. But first, the $2.5 million Georgia mansion, a trophy of their crumbled marriage, must be wrested from Lindsay's grasp. Custody of 3 children hangs in limbo, their laughter drowned by legal filings. Respect for the kids, Savannah insists, even as she posts PDA-filled photos tagged #NewBeginnings. Here lies the clash: America's insatiable appetite for drama versus the Bahamas' ironclad gag orders. Lindsay's blue sundress on Good Morning America wasn't just fashion, it was a grenade tossed into the jury pool. A spit in the face of justice, roared Judge Grant Thompson, her British-trained gavel silencing Lindsay's freedom of speech. Yet in the US, Savannah's podcast dissects the case freely, her 1.2 million followers dissecting every word. Can justice survive when headlines hold the gavel? August 2025. The trial looms. Prosecutors wield digital daggers. Lindsay's "kill him" text, sent hours before the grabber's bar burglary. Bethel's contradictory testimony, nobody wanted him dead, collides with police records alleging he wanted to kill him also. Newbold, the landscaper turned fall guy, claims poverty, not malice, drove him. But in the Bahamas, conspiracy carries a 60-year sentence. No emojis. No edits. Just cold, steel bars. 2 nations. 2 narratives. One question. In the age of virality, can a jury untangle truth from trending? Or will Lindsay Shiver's fate be decided not in Nassau's courthouse, but in the court of public opinion? So, what do you think? Was Lindsay Shiver a desperate mother cornered by a broken marriage? Or a mastermind who weaponized paradise? Could this happen in your neighborhood, in your divorce? Or is this a tragedy reserved for the wealthy, the beautiful, the damned? If you've made it this far, if you've sat through the secrets, the scandals, the shattered lives, don't let the algorithm bury their story. That like button? It's not just a click. It's a lifeline for stories like this to survive in a sea of cat videos and makeup tutorials. And that subscribe bell? It's a promise, to you, to us, to the Lindsay Shivers of the world, that their voices won't drown in the dark. This isn't entertainment. These are real people. Real children. A real justice system stretched so thin, it snaps under the weight of borders and bias. So the next time you scroll past a true crime headline, pause. Remember the sandcastles crushed under police boots. The WhatsApp pings that replaced wedding vows. The crown that became a noose. We'll keep digging. But only if you're here to listen. So, will you?